Nice sunshine. We took it for a drive. So this is Bucket Industries by special request. So today, I finally got around to making a video about the clutch master cylinder this thing's got. I started, 2-3 weeks ago when it was asked, and yeah, we got a little out of hand. The whole car's gutted, as you may or may not seen on Instagram. I was chasing a wire and I got the shits, and then decided that the whole car needed to come to pieces to be cleaned up under the flooring and whatnot. So it's all been stone guarded and sealed and whatever else. It's also quite loud without everything in it, as I found out. But basically, so what has happened here? Now, I can't take credit for this because, one, I can't weld, and two, it was in a donor car that we had. This setup originally came out of another Gemini with a hydraulic clutch. I'm not a big fan of how it's set up. As you can see, so you might have, I can't remember if I did or didn't, but you might have heard me waffle on about going through a few master cylinders before we got the right one. So for me, I didn't realize the bigger is definitely not better. So I went from a standard, well, actually it had a random master cylinder on it. I don't know what was off. So I threw it in the bin and didn't think to measure the bore, which is pretty crucial, as I found out. So you need a 1-to-1 match, not bigger by like 5 times. So I think this is a 7/16 Willwood master cylinder, and it's had the rod on the end of it lengthened by Greg, and Scotty made modified the actual, that little bracket there. Scott modified just that little bit longer, put a bigger nut on it so I could get the purchase, because the Willwood master cylinders that they send you are about that long, and you need them another, well, I think it's 100, what's Greg written on the bottom of it? So it needs to be at least that long, or maybe it was an extension, I can't remember. So that happened. It was a long process, but we got it done. As you can see, like, if you have a look at the clutch master cylinder episode that we put up when we got it running ages ago, bleeding it was a bit of a nightmare, but you can refer back to that one for that. What they've done is they've used a standard Gemini pedal box, and they've just modified the clutch master cylinder to have this L-shaped bracket off it. You see? So it still mounts the same, but has this big bracket off. Now, it has this huge, big ass washer there, and that might not seem like much, but actually it prevents the bracket from warping or wobbling around. The car that the clutch master cylinder was originally in had a lot of slack in it, a lot of slop, so we've added that just to prevent it from moving anywhere, and it's done the job. Like, I can clutch dump this in 3rd, 4th, 5th, and there's no flex in it at all. The Willwood master cylinders, they're not cheap. I think the multi one that I had was like 150, 180 bucks. I think that was about 130. Yeah, I think that's pretty much covered that. Just thought while we're here, I'll show you from another angle. Again, don't judge underneath here. For what it's worth, it's an absolute pain in the ass to fit up too. If you got really small hands and not fat fingers like mine, maybe, but it was just a bitch. For the brake booster, which I haven't really covered much on, it's exactly the same one as what's in the bucket. So it's a TX booster and an Isuzu Truck master cylinder. Now, I always forget the part number. I think it's like JB1477 or 1466 or something. I'll chuck that in the thing afterwards, but it's not much to it. It's a 1-inch master cylinder because I got Commodore brakes on this. It looks like I need a top up too. That's a TX reservoir with the little mount off for TX, because the TE one's a dual pot. The booster is actually upside down, so the usual thing that plugs into it from the vac line is usually at the top. It's actually on the bottom there. I did this because the manifold, the way it is, I had literally no clearance. And if you look, I'll get the camera down there in the right spot. You can see that there's a plate in there. That's actually to blank off the idle air control unit. It's because I don't have one because it just didn't fit. We mucked around with so many different options using the factory Nissan one. The workaround was to get an inline Bosch one. I just have never got it. So the car runs pretty fine without it. But yeah, so that's the brake booster. But anyway, we've got some new stuff coming for this as well. So no longer will I retain the factory dash. It also clicked over 300,000 Ks, which is a bit sad, but anywho. Alright, well, that's a short video on the clutch master cylinder. If you need any more info, let me know and I can put up a new video. Cool, thanks. Today on Bucket Industries, doing a quick video on the clutch setup out of the red car and then escalating to this. So yeah, I was doing one small thing and then I was like, I'll move this, I'll move that, and now I'm in this hole. So I'm going to sound and deaden and dynamat the back firewall, plate all that up so the fuel tank's sort of behind a firewall now, and then clean up a few things. I've noticed as well, like it's a bit damp over there, so it's where that tube's coming through. I think it's been leaking for a bit. So unfortunately, the clutch setup under there video will probably have to wait a little bit longer. I might wrap it into this one for you, but yeah, that's escalated quickly. Here's a funny one for you, Willsy. Oh, I've run out of fucking return springs from the carburetor. Boop boop. This thing hasn't had a carby in shit 15 years. Oh, back into it for another day. And as you can see, I've gotten even further into a wormhole that I didn't really need to do. All the flooring's out. I'm going to dynamite the whole floor now as opposed to just a little bit. Clean up some service rust there with a wire wheel, flapper paddle. I found these cool build sheets as well in amongst the dollar and Melbourne Bitter. Like, I don't even drink Melbourne Bitter. I have no fucking idea where that came from. Oh look, there's 10 cents. More rubbish. But it's cleaning it out and getting it ready, and I'll do some more bits and pieces.